Hey, I'm Ruby and welcome back to Pierced Owl. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you never ever miss a video or an update from us. Today we're diving into the world of piercings and talking about the best options for beginners. So whether this is your first piercing ever that you're thinking about getting, or this is a new piercing that you're adding to your collection but you're still a beginner and want some guidance, this video is for you. We're going to be talking about the 3 best piercings to get as a beginner. Let's get into it. First up, we have the classic ear piercing. This is by far the most popular choice for first piercings. Not unheard of to have your ears pierced as a baby, as a toddler, and get your lobes done. I guess it's for good reason. Good reason that it's popular, not that babies are getting their ears pierced with piercing guns. So piercings are one of the least painful piercings to get, and they heal relatively quickly, and the healing process is pretty straightforward. Typically, an ear piercing will heal between 3 to 6 or 9 months. Earlobe piercings offer a lot of versatility as far as placement and jewelry options. You can start with simple studs in your ears and work your way up to hoops, dangly earrings. It's the perfect way to dip your toes into the piercing world while also getting a lot of range as far as how you want to style your piercing, how you want it placed on your ear, and the likelihood of any adverse side effects or complications is pretty low. With so many different styles and choices for earrings, you can really express your personality. Whether you like minimalistic pieces like basic studs, those look so cute stacked up, or if you want a bunch of chunky pieces, looks really good as well. When it comes to lobe piercings, you have a few different options. If you already have your first hole, then you can obviously go for a second or third to kind of spice up and get a little ear stack going. You can also go for a stacked lobe, which is a piercing that is placed above this traditional lobe area right there, and is a little bit higher up, and that looks really honestly beautiful, sophisticated, elevated in an ear stack. So there are a lot of choices. If you don't have a lobe piercing yet, if you already have lobe piercings and want to keep piercings to the lobe area, or you're just a little anxious to go anywhere else on the body, any of those choices are great for your first piercing. Next, let's talk about nostril piercings. If you want something that's a little bit more unique than a simple lobe piercing, then a nostril piercing is a great choice as a first or beginner-friendly piercing. They've been popular for years and they're really easy to care for in most cases. Nostril piercings typically take 4 to 6 months to fully heal, and the pain level is pretty manageable for most people. I got my nose pierced when I was 18 years old. My mom had told me that when she got it pierced, it was really painful. So I went into the situation thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be like one of the worst experiences I've ever had. And it wasn't. It lasted a second. It made my eyes water. But other than that, it was a really straightforward piercing to get through. For your initial jewelry, you'll be fit with a simple stud. Well, it doesn't have to be simple, but it will be like a stud. There's a lot of different choices that you can make, obviously, for the jewel, depending on your piercing studio. And as the piercing heals, you can eventually switch to a hoop, which is such a cute piece of jewelry for the nose. Nostril piercings are one of those piercings that look amazing on anyone, and typically everyone has the anatomy for a nostril piercing. They look great on everyone and can be styled to be more of a subtle piercing or a bold statement piece depending on your vibe. Another fantastic choice for a beginner-friendly piercing is a septum piercing. Now you may be wondering, Ruby, WTF, a septum piercing doesn't seem like it should be my first piercing, or it seems like a really intimidating spot to get. But honestly, septum piercings are actually pretty beginner friendly. The piercing is done through the thin piece of tissue that you have in between your nostrils, just below the cartilage in your nose, like a sweet spot that's tucked in there, and that's where the piercing goes through. So all of that is to say that the pain is typically less than you would expect when you get it pierced. Healing time is about 6 months. It's a pretty straightforward piercing to heal. It's tucked in your nose. It doesn't really get bumped or accidentally snagged on anything. Of course, there's jewelry out here that could be snagged, but in general, it's pretty straightforward. It's easy to clean. There aren't typically many complications that we'll experience in their healing process. The best part about this piercing, especially when you first get it, is that you can flip it up into your nose whenever you need to or whenever you have to. Obviously, you shouldn't take advantage of this and you shouldn't be flipping it up and down multiple times a day. But if you do need to hide it from anyone, or if you can't have it for your job, it's really easy just to flip it up into your nose even when the piercing is new. With the septum ring, you also have a range of jewelry options from horseshoes to hinge segments to big clickers. So you can really have a lot of choice when it comes to doing something more simple and classic to something that's more ornate. There's so many different styles. I love having a septum piercing and getting to try out new jewelry depending on my outfit, my vibe, my mood. It's just such a fun piercing to have. That's it for today's video on the best piercings for beginners. I hope that this was helpful and maybe gave you a little bit of direction on where you want your next piercing or your first piercing ever to be. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and if you're looking for more content by us, you can visit piercedowl.com and our socials, TikTok and Instagram at piercedowl. Bye!